Good morning, I'm Buffy Olson with at my studio, Fire Vinyasa by Buffy. Today I'm here to answer some questions and give some alternatives for the last workout I posted, which was yoga for your core, back, and hips. So the first one is crow pose. What are the alternatives? Or what do we gain out of doing crow pose? Crow pose is a very beneficial exercise. It is great for strengthening your arms and your wrists, which before you're going to do a workout that includes crow pose, a great warm-up is actually, see if I can find something to put it on. It's actually put on the floor with your hands like this, right? And lean into it. So I'm going to lean this way. You can imagine I'm putting a lot of weight on my wrists, and then point your fingers towards yourself and lean back, and do those for 3 to 5 reps, and then you can just stretch out. Also, that's a great way to stretch out your wrists and hands in preparation for crow pose or any associated exercise. Now, crow pose, like I said, it's great for strengthening your hands and your wrists, which we need. And crow pose is great for stretching the upper back, which we really need. It focuses on that alignment. And it's great for strengthening the abdominal muscles and toning them. If one of your goals is to have great toned abs, then crow pose is for you. Also, it will open up the groin area, which is very important for other exercises. It has a lot to do with opening up the hips and helping that area to become more flexible and loose. And lastly, it builds confidence, and it's been associated with stress reduction, and we need stress reduction. So I'm going to show you how to work up to crow pose rather than to eliminate it or alternate it altogether. So when you're in a workout and you're not yet ready to do a full crow pose, during the workout, I suggest getting into the crow pose, which is this, leaning forward, and only pick one leg up at a time, and count to 15 or 30 if you can. With that one leg up, it'll give your transverse muscle the memory of feeling the weight on it and off of your leg, but you still have the stability of the other foot being down. And then, of course, switch over to the other leg and count to 15 or 30. And the best time to practice crow is actually not in session. So when you have some free time, if you're watching TV or doing something, you just have some free time, that's a great time to get on the floor and play in crow. And that's when you can just practice. You can fall, you can get up, it doesn't matter. You don't have someone on the screen saying it's time to go to the next posture. So when you're in your downtime and you're just playing, just play with bringing your feet up. Maybe see how long you can hold it. Don't worry about it looking perfect. And come down whenever you want to. That is a great way to practice crow, and before you'll know it, you'll be doing it in flow. Also, I want to point out, it is a great transverse muscle work. So let's move on to the next one, which was Firefly. For those of you who aren't sure what Firefly was, that's the posture where I came down like this, okay, getting my arms underneath my thighs, sliding my legs out, making a good seat for my thighs with my arms, and then I'm lifting my legs. As you notice, again, it's a great transverse muscle workout. It's also great, just back of the bicep workout, triceps. Okay, so that might come later as you are practicing crow, but that one isn't for everybody. So if you want an alternative for Firefly, I would say, let's look at the pose. Firefly starts off a lot from gardener's squat. So you can squat in gardener during Firefly. It can help if you come up on your toes. It helps to build strength. Also, goddess squat is a very good exercise. And then, lastly, if you're wanting to build up to Firefly, in conjunction with the Gardener and Goddess squat, when you are practicing a down dog, which is like this, or a wide-legged intense stretch, which is legs more beat out, body closer to the legs, and arms can be on the floor. Focus on putting more weight on the arms and less weight in the legs. You can even do push-ups to help with that. And that will honestly increase your arm strength and help you be able to eventually get into that Firefly posture. And lastly, full frontal splits. So for those of you who didn't see my video or don't remember, full frontal splits is this position. And I'm actually not doing them this morning because I haven't warmed up enough. It is a posture that takes a lot of warming up. You are putting your legs way apart. Some people can just get into that position. I am not one of them, and you may not be one of them. Thankfully for us, there's lots of alternatives. So we can work into it by staying in half splits, which in the workout I did was this. This was our half split. This is also a runner's lunge. So in lots of workouts, you're going to be in a runner's lunge, a low lunge. Low lunge can also look like this, crescent lunge, or lizard pose. Lizard pose is like this, okay? There's lots and lots of positions where we put one leg up here and one leg back here. Whenever you're in that position, just work on stretching out as much as you can. Put the knee towards that wall and the toes towards that wall, and stretch as much as you're able. You can rock back and forth and up and down. That will really help get that flexibility and loosen up the groin and the hips enough to do those splits. We can also do things to strengthen the hamstring, because the hamstring needs to be strong to support that flexibility. So I'm going to show you as much as I can. Maybe we're going to take the camera down for a minute. Okay, camera down. Hopefully this will work. So we're focusing on working out our hamstrings. We're going to do that by lying on our backs and going into a bridge pose. You put your hands underneath. Bridge pose really works the hamstrings, the glutes, and the abs, which is all things we want. You can get on your toes for more intensity. You can even play with this posture. However, we can also make this a whole exercise in of itself by squeezing a ball or a pillow or something between there, and we can work on squeezing those thigh muscles together. That's really going to help increase strength in this whole lower area, and you can do that for 12 to 20 reps or as much as you want. Lower down, and just the motion of lowering and raising will help increase those hamstrings. Also, to increase the lower half of the body to support the upper part of the body and splits is to put a weight right there and to lift. You can do it on each leg, just focusing on the leg, or you can do bird dog style, and you can also have a weight in your opposite hand if you want. This will really help increase those muscles and support the stretching, the flexibility, the power poses. So there you go. We've done crow, firefly, and full splits. Really, any yoga pose is accessible. We just need to learn how to work with the yoga pose or make the yoga pose come to us. This is why we have the use of blocks. This is why we practice daily. So if Firefly is not comfortable for you and your body, just don't do it. There's lots of other poses that we can work on besides Firefly. I would suggest sticking with squats and strengthening the upper arms for a while. And as half splits, maybe just stick with them. Splits aren't for everybody. They don't feel good on everybody or in everybody's body, and not all of us want to get into a full frontal split. So if that's you, feel free to stay in half splits, half lunge, low lunge, lizard pose. There's many, many exercises you can do to help open up the hips, strengthen the legs, and give you that flexibility that you want. A lot of times we're working on one leg at a time anyway, and that's going to help us immensely in our practice. Yoga is for you, the individual, not the collective.